Okay, my this is part two of my 2020 thought board. A lot of thoughts happening, a lot of things going on. It's been one crazy year. I don't remember in all of my 35 years, okay, 55 years, this much shit going on, man. This is crazy. Um, so today I'm gonna pick money and central banks. There is a lot of confusion in the world over what is money. If you ask 10 people what money is, you're going to get 10 different answers. I started learning really about the financial institutions back in 2007. I watched a movie called Zeitgeist, which blew my mind. Everything that I thought I knew in my life that I thought was true was probably not. So I dug deep. There's a good video called the The Secret of Oz. I'll maybe I'll try and find the link and put it in the description. But um, that's that video. It talked about the. I don't know if you can. Let's set this down. It talked about the whole history of money, how money's created, where it comes from, because I really had no clue. So if you go all the way back to it all ties into the central banks. Every time a central bank, which is what we have now, got control of the money supply, which is really important to understand. That's inflation and expanding the monetary system. When they got control of the money supply, countries went to shit. And every time the parliament, Congress, whatever you want to call the governing body of that particular country, when they had control of the money supply, it couldn't be inflated. They couldn't just add to it. It was worth what it was worth, whatever the market brought it, to be worth. But so this, like, okay, I'm gonna go back. Like in England, for like 700 years, they used stocks of wood, and they put little notches in it because it couldn't be counterfeited. There's still supposedly in European museums. There's still you know they still have some of those displayed, and stocks of wood. That's where the word stock market came from. Anyway, this all this all goes back to the central banks, and in our country, every time you know President Lincoln actually introduced the greenback, and the bankers couldn't control that, so they killed him. In my opinion. Uh, then it went to Andrew Jackson. He defeated the central banks trying to get in, and he made a quote that if the United States ever let a central bank get control of their monetary system, it was going to go to shit, and that's what happened. So um, then it goes to John F. Kennedy, who was desperate, or the actual central bank got in 1913. They had a vote Christmas Eve, I think. There's a lot of rumors around that. There weren't all the congressmen weren't all there. I even read reports. I looked it up. I'm not sure it's true, but there was people on the Titanic that supposedly a lot of mysterious deaths around that time. So the central bank got in, and they're not part of the United States. They are a private corporation, and they control our monetary system. They're not regulated by anybody. Um, they basically make policy and do what they want. That's changed recently with Trump, so I'll get to that. But uh, yeah, we were never really on a gold standard. If you go back to the Great Depression, um, 5% of the money at that time was backed by gold. That's it. Till 1971, Richard Nixon took us totally off the gold standard, and only 1% of the money was backed by gold at that time. So there's some misconceptions about money being backed by gold. They basically just made a printing press where they could, inflate the currency anytime that they wanted. What happened during the Great Depression, they were able to expand throughout the country and take over all the banks. So, and they basically just print as much as they want. They don't even print it anymore. Only 3 or 4% of the money is printed, and they're trying to go totally electronic. So then there will be no currency, just a digital currency, which is scary as shit. But anyway, having a good understanding of the monetary system, the history of money, the things that have actually happened with monetary policy is really important to understand what's going on right now, because the same people that the bankers that own the banks, own the currency, this is the first time in history that all the money has been tied to one currency, and that's the dollar. So almost all money in the world is tied to the dollar in some respect. The central bank is the United States. And we're in a situation now where they're just printing out of control. So every stimulus package that you see, every time you open a credit card, every time anybody gets a loan, that is nothing more than it adds to the money supply. And the more supply of money that there is, the less each dollar in your pocket is worth. And that's inflation. That's as simple as that. And a lot of people, they use the term inflation in a way that nobody understands. But basically, it's nothing more than adding to the money that's already there. So the more money in circulation, the less each dollar's worth. And now we don't even know, because they have, since 2008, they printed more money than ever in history. I mean, the graph goes like this. It goes up, 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 up until 2008 of the expansion of the monetary, of the money supply. And then from 2008 till now, just went off the chart. I don't know what's going to happen with it. Well, there's a lot of things that are going on now. There's supposedly a quantum financial system which is resetting the whole monetary system. I've learned some about it, but supposedly it's supposed to be fair, and it's supposed to be something that's going to take away a lot of the corruption with money. I hope so. I'm not sure. We have a lot of cryptocurrencies. The idea behind Bitcoin initially was that it couldn't be hacked, and that it was fair, and that it couldn't be manipulated. There's only so many Bitcoin, and they're not going to make any more. So Bitcoin will be worth whatever, a fraction of Bitcoin be worth what it is, and the Bitcoin will be worth what it is, and according to the market, which is, the blockchain is a fair system, in my opinion. Now, which one we use, I don't know. Who's gonna, is the government gonna get one? It's really, really hard to say what's going to happen and who to believe. But I think, first of all, understanding the history of money, understanding how it's created, where it comes from, puts you on a path to at least having some idea of what might happen. So anyway, money. Don't count on everything that you have staying the same. It's going to change very quickly. There's something big that's going to happen with it. There's a thing called NESARA, which is a total reset of all. I need to bring up. Hold on. NESARA is something to investigate if you haven't. It's supposedly happened and it's supposedly law, but I'm not sure. But Nesara, Nesara. Just looking it up real quick. Oh, that's not it. But it's supposedly going to wipe out all debt. It's going to I'll go over that in another video. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I don't know what topic I'm gonna pick next. Maybe you can tell me. There's a lot. I'm just gonna go. I mean, anything from Atlantis to wildfires to love to quantum syntax language, which is crazy. My thoughts on AI, you know, COVID, any of the stuff that you see. So, anyway, have a great day.